Hi, Cornerstone. This is Pastor John, and just wanted to touch base with you. It's been a while since I've seen you. I am looking forward to seeing you guys soon again. But I just wanted to spend a little bit of time to talk about our church, the attitude that I'm praying that we're going to have as we finish out this season that we're in, and also update you on the plan that we have for moving forward. I'm excited to see that the White House is putting out some phases and steps for us to integrate back into normal as we remember it. I'm definitely ready for that. But let me just speak to you very quickly here. Number one, I did want to talk about attitude as our patience starts to get worn out, as we're dealing with things that are difficult. I want to remind you, we as Christ followers are not to be a people of fear. We trust God. We know that He is in control. Things are changing and out of our control, but we are a people who trust that God is sovereign and will lead us and direct us through this. Nor are we a people who gravitate towards anger when we're unable to control things. We have to be careful how we're conducting ourselves right now so that we honor the Lord with our actions. I'm reminded in Romans chapter 13 how we are to conduct ourselves under the authority of the governing institutions of our land. And God very clearly says in Romans 13, verse 1, He says, "Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God." Very clear instruction from God that as our government, from the White House, in cooperation with our governors, in cooperation with local authorities and those who are overseeing our communities, the church and its people are to be one that cooperate with that to the best of our ability, unless, like Acts 5:28 says, we are instructed to do something against the will of God. And at that point, it is the church's responsibility to say, if we have to choose between obeying God and man, we will choose to obey God. But until we get to that point, we're to conduct ourselves the very best that we can in cooperation. And, a couple weeks ago, I was very relieved as I was invited to be a part of a conference call with the State Department of Health. And they were communicating to all the ministers throughout the state, and very, very kind, working in a spirit of cooperation with our churches, wanting us to continue to minister to the people, wanting us to continue to function the best of our ability. So I know this is stretching us and trying us, but hang in there. We're almost through this. And I want to continue to shine as the church as we go through this. I want the fruit of the Spirit to be coming out in us in these trying times so that the world can see that there's a difference between us and those who have no hope. So look for opportunities still in the midst of the difficulties. There's lots of them out there. Let me give you some fun updates. We've been able to reach out to our missionaries around the globe and really do some high impact outreach there. And we'll share more with that as time goes on, but just some huge steps forward going on there. We've been able to help with some local food banks and also step into some outreaches to high-risk healthcare workers that the mission team is working on with some of the members of our church. Very proud of this. And even with some of the families in our own church, reaching out there and serving each other where we can. So I want to thank you for doing that. I want to talk to you also about the plan to reintegrate. So the White House has come up with this document. It's called Opening Up America Again. It comes straight from the White House, from President Trump. And he's working with the CDC, and it's being carried out by the governors and the local officials in compliance with the citizens of the community. So we're kind of all just taking this one step at a time, using the data that we have, the best data that we have. So the first step in here is just basic criteria. They're looking for the symptoms and the cases to decrease over a 2-week period of time. I think we're starting to see that now. They're continuing to monitor that. I just saw today that Governor Wolf put out the stay-at-home order till May 8th. I think he's looking for that 14-day mark. So they're focusing on good hygiene, sanitation, face covering, social distancing. All that stuff just helps us get there. None of us like it, but that's what the goal is. Phase 1 will be this period where 10 people or less for social gatherings, kind of where we started, instead of being confined to our homes. We'll continue to do live streaming from our church during that time. through phase one. We'll encourage life groups and kids classes and that kind of stuff to continue to use Zoom and Google Meet and different innovative ways you guys have come up with to still get together. Good for you. Thank you for doing that. Phase two, we will combine live streaming and campus worship. We'll kind of reopen up at that point because groups of 50 can meet. And I think we can use our facility at church in a way that we can begin to spread people out and use some of our overflow rooms and use our space very wisely and very carefully and still use distancing strategies and all that. But there will be no Sunday school during that time. That'll be for phase two. And then finally, phase three, most of the restrictions are lifted. We'll continue to live stream for those who still have who are still high at risk and want to attend church but not get out into the public yet. But we'll have on-campus worship, and we'll start planning on getting into our life groups again and getting into Sunday school classes and all that kind of stuff. Now, we have to be subject again to whatever the specifics are as these phases are made available to us. The guidelines will come out, and we'll do our best to comply with that. So again, I'm not in charge of the timing of all of this, but the attitude that I have as the church, we're going to do the best that we can to work with the authorities that are in power, agree with them or not, agree with the strategies or not, agree with the politics or not. There's a lot of stuff to talk about out there, but as the church in our community, I want to do the best that we can to work with our community to get us through this particular season that we're in. And I want to thank you, church, for uniting around this, for being patient, for being understanding. Let's continue to serve one another, and let's continue to press forward. This will pass, and let's conduct ourselves in a way that continues to bring honor to God and show that love and joy and peace are priorities in the lives of Christians. Hang in there. I will see you soon.